you decided very early on, when you were 14, 15, that you want to
That's right.
make films, right?
Again, I don't know how I arrived at that decision. What was it? There was no like one turning point or anything. But I just knew that I'm going to make films. This is what I want to do, and this is what I will do. Godard, when I saw Breathless, made a huge, huge impact. And what the hell? What is this? Boom. More than anything else, I think if the films that really, really left the deepest impact, it might be Modern Times and City Light of Chaplin. I thought it was impossible for me to leave home. But what happened, my younger brother, who was just 15 months younger, he left Guru Bombay, and I thought, my God, my parents would be devastated, and they were for about 2 months.
Okay.
But after that, they were okay. I said, what the hell? They're okay, man. I can't go. Yeah, so I think that gave me the courage to say, okay, I'm going to FTII next year. That's a brilliant question, no? And that is actually the struggle that you go through. Then you say all these thoughts, all these ideas that I had meant nothing. Now I'm going to find that emotion.
What happens if, say, an actor disagrees with your vision? Because I remember, sometimes I think somebody asked Bergman, and he said, I stopped breathing.
See, I've worked a lot with Ranveer Shori on film. And I think he's a phenomenal actor. And he can become anything and be anybody. So my way is to ask, first of all, the actors, how would you play the scenes? It comes from them. So I'm never telling them to do this or that. I'm never saying, oh, you sit there and then the camera will come down. I don't know. I ask them, okay, now this is the space, this is the scene. Kaise karna bataiye? And then the actors do something and I say, oh, great, let's do that. Or, oh, हाँ ये अच्छा है, लेकिन अच्छा इसको ऐसे करके देखेंगे. The actors try that way. So you're coming to any decision in a collaboration.
So I think it's collaboration is also between the camera's gaze and the actor's presence. So,
absolutely.
So who do you trust more, the gaze of the camera or the presence of the actor?
I keep saying this, the kids who played Oppu and Durga in Pathir Panchali, I'll never forget those faces. What are they? Are they trained actors? No. But they're incredible.
You mentioned Oppu, and I remember Satyajit Ray being asked this question. He said that, and I keep looking till the image stops moving in my head, and that's where I place the camera. Nice. And whenever I hear these lines, I don't know why I feel this physical pain inside me. I cannot understand. Pain. There is this extreme ache. I don't know why. Maybe you could help me, explain that emotion. I don't know. How did you want those?
Because that doesn't excite me, because I don't believe in it, because it bores me to death. That's a whoodunit, which is another genre which I'd never done, but very exciting for me. So finally I've done a whodunit. I won't say any more because it'll be a spoiler, but you have to watch it when it comes.
The emotion you find hardest to act?
Joy. I don't think anybody ever has delved into these things like you have. I hate this.
Rajat Kapoor lives like he films, off the grid, against the noise. An actor, director, an atheist, and an accidental philosopher, he builds small worlds where absurdity and faith quietly hold hands. His cinema refuses formula, even as the industry runs on it. And this is a man who doubts everything except the value of looking and observing closely. So we shall follow his lead today and observe him as closely as he allows us to. Thank you, Rajat, for being here and agreeing to do this.
What an introduction. I don't know this guy. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay. But I have to first start by asking you, you live without a phone. And, it's pretty much, for me, it's not like a very basic refusal that I don't want to be disturbed. It's almost a radical act of, refusing the world as it is, because for us, it's like second skin or a prosthetic mind.
Right.
So how do you manage to do that?
It's just not that hard. Yeah. Also because I never had one. So if you have one and then you give up, I suppose it might be a problem. But if you never got used to it, then it's not so hard.
So how do people communicate with you?
Email,
if there is
like you did on this. And email is actually a smart way. I don't know why smartphones are called smart, because I think email is really the smart way.
If you had to, for example, you go to a new place and you were to navigate, how do you
normally I know, like everybody used to, कि भाई कहाँ है वो उसकी दुकान के पीछे है, वहाँ से left ले लेना, and then so on. But what I do now, I study on Google Maps at home before I leave. And then I ask around and I get there.
But then why this decision?
Because it makes life simpler, it gives me a lot more time, etc., etc. I don't know why people are so fascinated about somebody not having a phone. Let's change topic.
Okay. It is a fascinating topic, but okay. I suppose that, okay, I probably, I feel like jaise wo Bauji ka character tha na Ankhon Dekhi mein, where he refuses to be mediated by something. Is it probably an undercurrent of that? Are you someone like that who refuses to be mediated by this algorithmic, deep, fake infested world, and you want to see it?
Well, I think we should all be doing that. Though it is harder than it sounds. Because forget phone and media, and but to encounter the real world, you have to kind of give up your ideas, first of all, right? And we are made of ideas. And language is made of ideas. And we think in words. And so we are, this construct of social media or media is one thing, but the construct of language, that is also what makes us. Absolutely. So we are, our perception itself is limited because of that. Because we think of a word or an idea, and then, so when I say a table, for example, it creates an image in my mind already. It means something. And when I look at this, I say, yeah, this is a table, but it's not just a table. Table is a generic word. This is something else. This is a very specific, particular thing. So now I'm saying, for me to be able to see this, for me to be able to experience this particular table at this particular moment, I need to be rid of that.
It's very interesting that you say this, because just a week ago I was interviewing Graham Harman, who was a philosopher who's founded this school called object-oriented ontology. And where he says
object-oriented ontology,
where he says that you can never get to, everything, you can never know them with certainty, and there is a part of it which withdraws. And he talks about the table, there is a part of the table that you would never know, that withdrawal. And I asked him, okay, I understand that, that there is the limitation, but what is the purpose of trying to think that way? I understand that there is a limitation in understanding.
So because how do you know the world? I suppose in science and also in art, the quest is to somehow know the world, and to know more than that, to know your position in the world. Who are we? What are we doing here? Etc. So I have kind of come to the resolution that the only thing you can know is yourself. And maybe the only thing worth knowing would be yourself.
I will get into that later when we speak about your films, because I feel that, your characters are also, made when that identity cracks. But I want to start at the very beginning, how, I suppose this way of seeing somewhere comes from your childhood, right? Where you've spoken about going to the cinema with your father and becoming a film buff from then. And so tell me about those years and how did they form you?
We had a very middle class upbringing between, I would say, poor and lower middle class. My father had a printing press, and he was most of his life struggling to run it, to make enough money. But he was a great guy. And he was a film buff. And his father and brothers, it was a kind of a joint family. We had moved away from the joint family, but we were very attached in a way. So every third day we would all be there at my grandfather's house. So the thing I carry the most from that is an immense warmth of, I would say, community living. I think it was just fabulous, that as a child you feel so protected, you so looked after. There's always somebody to take care of you. I don't know, I just have a lot of warmth from those days. And I have I have a craving for it, So in fact, I think I do theater and I like to travel with the team in somewhere trying to recreate that community, of friends or family or whatever it is. People who hang out together, Yeah, so that was one part of it. And my father's constant struggle with money, for money, and at the same time, his will to experience life, and his love for cinema. I don't know where the hell it came from, because he was not extraordinarily educated, but he had a sense of aesthetic in terms of literature and films, for sure. He was a big fan of Raj Kapoor. Of course, I think that the whole generation was, of Guru Dutt, but mostly Raj Kapoor. And so in the early 70s, when the new wave Indian cinema was making an appearance, he was very much a enthusiast, And every year they would have National Award winning films shown at Vigyan Bhavan in Delhi. I grew up in Delhi. And he would watch almost everything. I remember when I was 13, my brother was 12. Manikos Duvidha was showing at Vigyan. He took us. What kind of father takes his 12-year-old, 13-year-old kids to watch Manikos Duvidha? But he did. And I think somewhere it made an impact. Must have. I worked with Mani many, many years later. I assisted Mani. And my father, now we were in Bombay, and my father came to visit us once. And we had a dinner at our house, and Mani was invited. And my father went up to Mani Kaur and he said, ये आपके फैन तो अभी बने होंगे, मैं आपका बहुत पुराना फैन हूँ. And I was embarrassed. I said, Papa, move.
So, but you decided very early on, when you were 14, 15, that you want to make films, right?
Again, I don't know how I arrived at that decision. What was it? There was no one turning point or anything. But I just knew that I'm going to make films. This is what I want to do. And this is what I will do. That I knew. I had no idea what should be the next step. What should I do now to get there? I had no clue. It was like a fantasy or a wish. But I continued to watch films. Then when I was 16, I went to college and Delhi University. And they had a film society right opposite our college, run by Pankaj Butalia, called Celluloid. And that's where I saw for the first time Herzog and Fassbinder and Bergman. And I was 16, it blew my mind. And then, of course, there was a lot of film society movement at that time. And I joined Alliance, and there were films at Max Muller and Alliance and Italian Cultural Center. So one would just watch everything. You don't know who you are, what kind of films you want to make. But at that age, you're just soaking everything in. And now even my kids, I tell them that 20s is your time to experience life, just to live and experience and soak yourself in. You don't know how life will turn out. But this is the time to keep learning. And I think that's what I did in my late teens and all of 20s.
Is there a particular film you remember that moved you? More than being perfect, it actually just shifted something inside.
I don't know. I would say Bobby. If I was honest, yeah. I was 13 when I saw Bobby. It blew my mind. Of course, every year there would be a film like that. I was watching all this, but I was also watching crappy mainstream films. I was watching everything. I remember Bobby, I went kind of mad for 4 months. I would lie around in my bed and rerun the film in my head. And suddenly say, Bobby! And mom will come to my room and say, Pagal ho gaya kya? Kya kar raha? Pagal hai. Then Diwar was a big one next year. That film really made an impact. Because of Bachchan, Salim Javed script, gangster vibe. I was a big fan of Diwar. I still am. But there was no one film. Then Woody Allen, when I discovered by the time I was 18, Love and Death, and then Annie Hall, Manhattan. Godard, when I saw Breathless, made a huge, huge impact. And what the hell? What is this? Boom. I was also, I think, 19 by that time. Some films didn't make an impact initially. When I saw 8.5 first time, I was like, it's okay. When I saw it again, I said, oh my God. And now it's probably my favorite film. But maybe more than anything else, I think if the films that really, really left the deepest impact, it might be Modern Times and City Light of Chaplin. But again, I don't know when was the first time I saw them. I must have seen them as a child and then seen them again. But I still think that those are the greatest films ever, those two.
So what is it about cinema that probably attracted you more than, say, books?
I was an avid reader. I would read a lot. No, cinema was exciting. Cinema was really exciting. The whole, cinema is magic. It really is. Books are also magic. And I'm even now when I read a book, a novel, and I think it's it does what cinema cannot do, what theatre cannot do. It creates a sense of time, which you can't do in film. It talks of generations and then it takes you there. It does something, it transforms your reality in some bizarre way. Even now, I've just started reading Sons and Lovers of Lawrence. And I'm saying, how can you do this? Cinema will never be able to do this. So that's very intrinsic to a novel, I think. But theatre is another kind of magic. But cinema is a very seductive magic, let's say. As a child, as a young person, I think is the most seductive art. To be able to watch, unless, I don't know, something comes like virtual reality or something where you can actually experience in some other way. But cinema pulls you in and you're there. You're inside the story. You become one with it, with the narrative. That pull is incredible. But that only happens when you watch a film in cinema hall, not on your laptop.
Absolutely. And I feel that more and more, I think probably our attention spans are decreasing and that sort of immersive experience is eluding us.
Now what Shivendra Singh Dungarpur and Film Heritage Foundation are doing in Bombay, they're showing a restored classic every week at Regal, every Thursday. And there are about 1,000, 1,100 people coming to watch these films. It's phenomenal. I saw Space Odyssey, 2001 Space Odyssey now. To watch it with 1,100 people on the big screen is really magic.
Tell me about how you got into theatre. You got into FTII, right? Tell me about those years.
Theatre happened first and it was completely by chance. It's a complete accident. I had no intention of, I didn't know what theatre is. I had no idea about it. But I had gone to learn French at Alliance Francaise just after college. I was really 19, and they had a small something going on in the basement. It was called Theatre of the Posh. I said, kya kar rahe hain log? So I went down to watch them rehearse. Why, not bad. I said, okay, can I come join you? Said, okay, come tomorrow. And I started with them, and then it hit me like a drug, Theatre is a drug. And then I was hooked for life. I can't get over it. Yeah, but it was completely accidental. I had no intention of becoming a theatre practitioner. And then I was very bad as an actor for a couple of years. Then I got slightly better, a little more at ease. And then I directed my first play before I went to FTI at 24. It was a play called Firebugs. Then I went to FTI because finally I said, okay, no, I have to, if I'm going to make a film. The whole life, my father had a printing press, like I said, and the idea was that I will continue that press. I'll work with him, support him, help him, whatever. Eldest son, blah, blah. And I thought it was impossible for me to leave home. But what happened, my younger brother, who was just 15 months younger, he left to go to Bombay, and I thought, my God, my parents would be devastated, and they were for about 2 months. Okay. But after that, they were okay. I said, what the hell? They're okay, man. I can't go. Yeah, so I think that gave me the courage to say, okay, I'm going to FTI next year. I gave the exam and I got in. And I remember very clearly the day the result came up. We were still in Pune. After the exam interview, then you wait for a day for the result. And I saw my name on the list, and I remember I took the journey in the train, Deccan Queen, whatever, Pune to Bombay. I was standing at the door the whole 3.5 hours. I was like, I have made it. I killed it. This is it. It was like a big deal. It was a big deal. Yeah. So when I came to Bombay, my brother was there. First thing I did was to tell him, and we kind of celebrated by smoking a cigarette, I think. And yeah, 3 years of FTI were tough, lonely, very hard. But yeah, it's a great place. It's a great place. Because it's only cinema then, It's you and your loneliness and cinema.
Why lonely?
Because it's the same bloody 70 people every day. It's just terribly lonely and depressing. Yeah, it was for me. Also depressing because you think you can never match this. It was very, your self-esteem is destroyed. And that's a good thing, I think. It's a very funny thing because every time a new batch would come, they didn't really know films. I knew more films than anybody else in my batch. Most of them were not exposed to world cinema and so on. But within 3 months, they think they know everything about films. Bergman is an idiot and Tarkovsky is shit. And, they start talking like that. In 3 months. Then at the end of 6 months, you're supposed to do an exercise for your first film exercise. And he shoot it and he try and edit it and he says, I know nothing. And then he shut up. Then he stopped talking. No, but what was hard was that people like Kumar Shani would come, Mani Kaul would come, and you would watch Ghatak and you watch great filmmakers, and you say, well, I'll never be able to make this. I know nothing. That realization of knowing nothing, nothing about cinema, nothing about art, nothing about life, you feel very incapable. And that was a hard thing. But then you come, and also you cut away from the world. At FTI, you're living in a campus, you don't have money to go out. You really cut away from the world. So when I finished and I came to Bombay, it was like, boom, life hits you in a big way. And I was lucky that Kumar Shani was making a film at that time, as soon as I got out. Boom, I got in with Kumar.
What was that film?
Khayal Gatha.
Okay.
Film about Khayal.
Hmm.
And I have said it enough times, and I'll say it again, that I've learned everything from Kumar and from Mani. Everything about films, I've learned from them.
At what point did you think that you found your voice?
Much later, 10 years after that. With a short film, I did Hypnothesis, and with a play called C for Clown. Because I made Tarana before that, which was completely in Kumar Shani's colors. Then I made my first film, Private Detective, which was very different from what Kumar or Mani would have made, but very influenced by them still. Because I remember thinking very often, how would Kumar do this? You know, so that it was a big influence. So yeah, this, what you said, is the most important thing, I think, for an artist, to find your own voice. And it takes time. It takes time. Because you have to shed away all the influences. You have to really discover how you want to say it. It's not even what you want to say, but it's how you want to say it. And how does it align uniquely to you? That is the tough part, right? And then that, it just takes time, I suppose, if you have a voice. If you don't have a voice, you'll never find it.
So the plays that you've directed, you've, I suppose, a lot of Shakespeare and Brothers Karamazov. So the Shakespeare, you've always seen it through the figure of the clown, right? Why is that? So can you explain that?
I did a play called C for Clown in 1999, which was my first thing with clowns. And that was a completely improvised piece. We didn't have a script. We just started, we want to do something with clowns. And we experimented, we improvised and came up with something. And then I thought, wouldn't it be great if clowns did a classical text? What will happen? How will that be?
So just an experimental idea?
Yeah, just an idea. So I said, okay, I thought of a Greek tragedy first. Let's do a Greek tragedy. I read something, I was not very excited. Then I said, okay, why not Hamlet? And we picked Hamlet. So when we started Hamlet, the idea was, okay, this is the text and clowns are doing it. I had nothing more than that. And again, we improvised every day. We would rehearse, come up with something. So it became a thing. It was Hamlet, but it was done. It was like a group of clowns trying to enact Hamlet and failing. And in that failing, you would bring some of Hamlet out, And I thought that was a nice way of looking at a text which is written 400 years back, but being performed now. So to bring it in this context of our times, the clowns were a good instrument.
So what is it about clowns? How do they see the world differently?
I think clown is the purest form, I think, in a way. Because if an actor is a clown, he's nothing else. He's free of caste and race and all of that. So he becomes a pure being. When a clown is angry, it's just anger. When he's sad, it's just sad. This sadness, I think the purest form of emotion. That's one way of looking at it. For me, that's what it is. So clown can be that that kind of a purity, of a natural being, for example.
And what happens to a line where, when you think that, of course, the line is written, but if you can't film it or stage it, what do you do with that? If you can't film it or you can't stage it, but there is a truth in a line in your text, for example, but if you're not able to film it, if you're not able to stage it, if you're not able to translate it into the other medium, what do you do with that?
Lines are not important, first of all. It's the feeling which is more important.
Or a feeling that's untranslatable.
Untranslatable. You can fail. So the two things are very different actually, film and theatre.
Yeah.
So in film, that's a brilliant question now. And that is actually the struggle that you go through. So in film, let me take you through the process. Yeah. What happens, you write something. Okay. And that might start with an idea, it might start with a character, it might start with a mix of two. And you say, okay, हाँ ऐसा होगा, फिर ऐसा होगा, ये कहानी है, फिर ये कैरेक्टर है, फिर ये छोड़ के चला गया इसको, फिर ये वापस आ गया, फिर ये ऐसी ऐसी कहानी खत्म हो गई. So you wrote something, and then when you get the money, you start casting for it, you start looking for actors. And now slowly your words, your character starts becoming something a little more concrete. Because when you were writing, it was everything is in your head. There was nothing real, right? Yeah. Now you say, okay, this actor is Ranveer Shori is playing this. Slightly more real that character has become. Then you go into costumes and it becomes even more real with hair like this, mooch, no mooch. Then you go to locations and okay, now actually this is the place where he lives. It's becoming more real. Then you start shooting. And when you're shooting, you say, okay, this is the scene. And one actor is sitting here, the other one is here. So I'll shoot it like this, and then I'll go down to the paper, to the glass, and then he picks the glass and camera comes here. So you have a way of shooting. And this will be the next shot, this will be the next shot. And all this time, everything is in your head. Yeah. You think that by doing this and this and this and this, you will find an emotion. Yes. Right? And you're working towards that eventually. And now you come to the editing. And you put everything together as you thought. And you say, this is shit. You know, almost every time you say, this is rubbish. This doesn't work. And then you say, all this thoughts, all these ideas that I had meant nothing. Now I'm going to find that emotion. And that's what you do at the edit. You spend I spend 4 to 5 months editing a film, trying to find that emotion that you imagined will flow in a certain way, but it didn't. But you know, in the pieces that you have, you know that emotion exists because you felt it when you were shooting it, you know. Now you have to discover it by rearranging things in a way that that makes the flow visible. Then you can't do that in theatre. It's a very different process. In theatre, you're watching the whole play every day. Right. In rehearsal. In rehearsals. First you put small pieces, 5 minutes of the play, then next 5 minutes, next 5 minutes. You put it all together. So your editing starts there. And then, let's say after 5 weeks of rehearsal, you're watching the whole play together. It's like watching the film on the editing table. And you say, no, this doesn't work. Maybe this can change. Maybe this can come later. So you're still editing it like a film. But it's more than editing, it's about the performance now. Yeah. And so you try and tweak with that. Or mise en scène. You start changing the mise en scène. No, maybe don't run there in this scene. Maybe just stay there and say, let's see what happens. So you're still tweaking it. And then the play opens and you get a response. And the work continues with theatre. The possibility of working even after the play is opened is there. I think it takes about 20, 25 shows for the play to really settle down, you know, because you're still working on, I'm still working on nothing like Lear after 150 shows. So the joy of theatre is that you can still tweak things, you know. What happens if, say, an actor disagrees with your vision? Because I remember, sometimes I think somebody asked Bergman and he said, I stopped breathing. No, I'm not like that at all. I agree with him. Oh, okay. Because it's not, I don't see disagreement as a problem. If he's disagreeing, if anybody is disagreeing, your actor, your cameraman, it means that he has a perspective on it, right? And then I will say, okay, I want to know what your perspective is. And that's why you're an actor with me, or that's why you're my cameraman, because I respect your perspective, you know.
But if you can't come to an agreement,
why would you not come to it? It's impossible to not come to an agreement. I don't, that's not a possibility. Because you have to be very closed to not come to an agreement. Why would that happen? You would always come to an agreement.
So is there a reason you work with, you pretty much repeat your team?
I've worked with the same cameraman for 9 films.
Yes, and also a lot of same actors. So is that the reason why?
Same. See, I've worked a lot with Ranveer Shori on film. And I think he's a phenomenal actor. And he can become anything and be anybody. That's the actor I've repeated the most. Others, Manu Rishi, others not so much. Vinay, who's a very close friend, very dear friend, he's part of every play that I've done. He's not there in all of my films. So, and there are many actors that have worked for the first time in every film. That's not the reason. Because you don't cast like that. You cast for a role. You don't cast your friends because they're your friends. But this thing is interesting that I can't understand the meaning of disagreement and not being able to come to an agreement. I can't understand it. Because also I have no shot breakdown when I shoot. I don't know how I'm going to shoot it. So my way is to ask, first of all, the actors, how would you play the scene? It comes from them. So I'm never telling them to do this or that. I'm never saying, oh, you sit there and then the camera will come down. I don't know. I ask them, okay, now this is the space, this is the scene. Kaise karna bataiye? And then the actors do something and I say, oh, fuck, that's great. Let's do that. Or, oh, हाँ ये अच्छा है, लेकिन अच्छा इसको ऐसे करके देखेंगे. The actors try that way. So you're coming to any decision in a collaboration. It's not.
So tell me, I think it's collaboration is also between the camera's gaze and the actor's presence. So,
absolutely.
So who do you trust more, the gaze of the camera or the presence of the actor?
It's a collaboration. You said it. So the actor has to have that presence for the camera to see it in the first place. But yeah, film is made with the camera. The camera is the main instrument of cinema. That's for sure. But the actor has to have, so that is the process of casting. When you're casting, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for an actor who has that potential, that possibility of being present. This presence, we say, it is about being present. And then it's a gift, and some actors have it. Some people have it. Forget actors, some people have it. That's why I keep saying this, the kids who played Oppu and Durga and Pathir Panchali, I'll never forget those faces. What are they trained actors? No. But they're incredible. Such beauty, such presence. You'll never forget those faces. You can't erase it from my head.
How do you decide where to place the camera?
It's mostly gut, mostly instinct. Because Rafe, my cinematographer for all these films, and I have decided that we'll never do a short breakdown. So, like I said, we ask the actors to place themselves, and then we say, okay, how do we want to shoot this? And then we try and we have some idea. We have like this scene is chaotic, for example. We know that. So then you have to create chaos in some way. Or this scene is still. So you know that. but you don't know more than that. So then you figure out what would be the best way. Like I said, you're trying to capture an emotion eventually. And you say, okay, for this moment, what is the best way to do it?
Yeah, because you mentioned Oppu, and I remember Satyajit Ray being asked this question. He said that I keep looking till the image stops moving in my head, and that's where I place the camera. Nice. Yeah. Then I look at your earlier films, Raghu Romeo, Mixed Doubles, Mithya. So these are people who are quietly inventing fictions to live inside, right? And there is always this crack in their identity. And you said that you can know yourself the best, but somehow your films are always living in this space where there is this whole fracture of identity. Tell me, how did you come up with these stories?
Now some things are becoming obvious to me now after having made a few films.
Yes.
And that is my journey within. But thanks for pointing this out. You're doing a great job, Pritha. I don't think most people have seen these films in the manner that you have. So yeah, now it's becoming clear to me that a lot of these films are about identity, or the quest for identity. And as somebody pointed out, a lot of these films are also about obsessive man, whether it's Raghu or Sunil in Mixed Doubles or Weekend or Rajay Babu in Ankhon Dekhi. They're obsessive people chasing an idea, so obviously this kind of character attracts me in some way, and I keep going back to them. I don't know what the reason is, but yeah, there's a pull towards such people. It must have something to do with me, but I don't know what that is. Yeah, so these are themes that I keep going back to, or they keep. So when I'm writing a script, it's not like I'm thinking, "Achha, chalo, kaise abhi identity kya karte hain?" But somehow in some way, some new way, RKRK is that. I don't know if you've seen RKRK. RKRK is very much that. How did you see RKRK? Where did you see it? On torrent?
Not on torrent.
Very bad.
No, not on torrent. I saw clips of it. I didn't see the entire film, but a lot of clips.
I'll send you the film.
Please do. Yeah.
Today, I'll send you the film. Only for your eyes, okay? Because it's still not out. RKRK is the same. Something I've written now, last year, is also an interesting take on a similar thing, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, so these things are recurring. I don't have an answer for this. I don't know why, but yeah, they're recurring.
I want to speak about Ankhon Dekhi, which is probably, if somebody was to ask me what is my favorite film of all times, it would probably be there.
Oh, thank you.
And there is something inexplicable, जब मैं मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा जब मैं इस इंटरव्यू पे रिसर्च करती थी, मुझे फिर से Ankhon Dekhi देखने का मौका मिला और and there's this scene when Baoji first gets this, he decides that he is going to pretty much only believe in things that he sees, and he says कि अब से सब कुछ नया होगा, सच्चा होगा, नए सिरे से होगा. And whenever I hear these lines, I don't know why I feel this physical pain inside me. I cannot understand pain. There is this extreme ache. I don't know why. Maybe you could help me, explain that emotion. I don't know. How did you want those when you were writing those lines? How did that?
No. It was an idea of a decision and a joyous one in a way.
Yeah.
But I can understand what you're saying, because it means giving up a way of life. Yeah. I think that pain has something to do with that, because when you say, okay, I've decided, आज से मुझे दुखूंगा, उसी पे विश्वास करूंगा, सब कुछ नया होगा, नए सिरे से होगा,
अच्छा होगा, सच्चा होगा.
So it's a big leap of faith.
Yeah.
That is what is scary. And it means that you're giving up a set way of being, and I think that is scary. But luckily, Bauji was mad enough to go on that journey. He didn't think of the pain. He thought it'll be an exciting journey. Of course, immediately after he is forgotten to put on his pants, and his wife has to remind him. And his first interaction is with the Kalakand. When Panditji says, Ke prasad khalu. Prasad means nothing to him now. And he says, Acha tha, swadishta meetha tha. Kalakand tha. Kalakand also is just a name. Acha tha, swadishta meetha tha. And so that's the beginning of his journey, which is a very exciting journey. I was telling somebody recently that when I was writing, I was also thinking of Raja Harishchandra, for example, who said, I'll only such bolunga. And then what it entailed for him, what a horrible journey he went on to. But he didn't give up his quest. Another obsessive man. Again, when I was writing Raghu Romeo, I thought of Don Quixote. Another madman, obsessive man. Raghu is a bit like that. I mean, who would think that this actress is for real? He's a mad guy.
Fall in love with him.
Fall in love and think she's real and she's actually being kidnapped or whatever. So yeah, but this is interesting that you say there's a sense of fear when Bauji says that.
Or maybe just the sense that we all want that कि अब सब कुछ अच्छा हो and you know that वो नहीं होगा. Maybe that take, I don't know, I can't put my hand on it. Also the idea of language, you said that, the language is the limitation of our world. So is that also why Bauji suddenly decides to, not speak for some time and thinks that that's a better way of understanding the world?
Yes. See, what is exciting for me about Bauji is that he does not have a fixed way. And that he still, even when he's on this journey, he's still open to changing the course of the journey. He didn't, when he went to Gopi's Atta, he didn't think he'll start gambling. He said, Kyun nahi? It's an experience, I'll experience it and see for myself. And he enjoyed it. तो आप कैसे बोल रहे हैं कि बुरी चीज है? किसने बोला बुरी चीज है? तो आप बोल रहे हैं ना. मुझे तो बहुत मजा आता है जब ये पान के 3 पत्ते हाथ में आ जाते हैं तो भाई it's magic, and one day he'll stop talking and one day he'll start talking when the need arises. So again, he's not driven by value system, so to speak, but it's not a matter of convenience either. He follows his own moral system, I would say.
Yeah, because that decision, I suppose, started off, it was triggered by something that they did to this young boy, right? And that
when he stopped talking.
When he said that I will only believe in what I see because ladki ke boyfriend ke paas jaate hain, they try to kind of
starts with that.
Yeah, because
कि सबने बोल दिया कि वो बुरा है तो हमने मान लिया बुरा है. लड़का तो गौ है.
So also this milieu that you build the cinema in, there's this slower middle class family, and so much chaos and so many small affectations, so many quarrels, etc. It's a very ordinary place, and yet something very extraordinary happens inside it. Also, I want to ask you, when I look at you, and I also ask this question to Vinay, you seem to be a person who, of course, knows this world really well, but who also seems to stand at a distance. You don't, whenever, in all your roles, even if you're in these films, even as Bauji's brother, you were detached. You were probably in another class of your own. So what is the relationship with that milieu? How do you know it so well? And yet,
that's my childhood.
That's your childhood.
Yeah, that's the joint family that we were part of. That's my
And
grandfather's
yet you
house.
seem so removed from it somehow. Is that true also?
Removed? Well, now I'm removed from it, yes. But I hope not in the film, because that would be a disaster. If as Rishi Chacha, you felt I was removed from them. No, removed, of course, now I'm another person, I'm another being. But like I said, I have great nostalgia for that life, and I have great warmth from those days, which lives with me. And it's just, everything that you've done is part of you, so it doesn't go away.
That's true.
Everyone you were is a part of you.
Yeah.
And you're a different person today than you were last week. But that person is not gone away. That person has become part of you. But you're not that anymore. That was that guy.
Yeah, but you said, you have to, in acting, you said acting, you think you dismissed it, ki usme zyada kuch nahi, you just have to look the part, right? And whenever people have cast you, they've cast you in roles, which is, probably, also I asked Vinay this, a lot of films when people are together, he is probably the one who's a loser in life and you're the one who's winning at life in some way or the other. So ऐसा क्यों लोगों को आप में ऐसा क्या दिखता है?
And you get stereotyped, you get typecast, and you have to fight it actually to. Yeah, I did one corporate film, so the whole kind of corporate things followed. I tried very hard to fight that. Then I played a cop. Then now, last 5 things I've done cops. It's a pain, but then you'd say, okay, no more cops. Yeah, so you have to keep fighting. So that's why something like Cough was very exciting for me. Because there you got a chance to do something that people don't see you as normally. That was nice. And also there are not many good roles, there are not many good films. So you choose from whatever you get, whatever is offered to you.
You've said you also want to make a horror film, right? So
one day.
So what is it that you see in that genre?
I don't know. I want to do all genre. I want to do a sci-fi. I want to do a horror. I want to do a gangster film. Again, I think Mithya was a kind of a gangster film.
But you also said you don't want to categorize films. Films are not. Somewhere I think you said, right, that categories nahi hoti hai films ki, film hai film.
Oh, so to hai, but there are genres which exist, A musical is a genre, can't deny that. And I would like to do a musical one day when I have something. But horror I've tried to write. I've tried to write two, one 20 years back, then again one 5 years back. I haven't cracked it. Hoga.
Can you tell me a little bit about the story? Like, how did you imagine horror coming? Like, Cough is like pretty much, of course, the genre is there, but it pretty much relates to social evils that ways. How did you imagine your horror story?
The one I tried to write 20 years back was about a man who slowly finds himself turning into a vampire. And he's very scared.
Again, identity.
Yeah, my God, yes. He's very scared at first, and then he accepts it. And then, wow, not bad. That was the thing. When we tried to write now was a family where the father turns into a vampire. I thought that would be interesting to have it within a family dynamic. But yeah, sometimes you try and write something and you do 2 drafts and it doesn't work, and then it waits. Then after 5 years, it gets cracked. Sometimes. RK was like that. I wrote it in 2011 in a very different way. And then it transformed and became what it became. I'm going to send you the link today, okay?
Yes,
you watch
please do.
And let me know what you thought.
I will. But I'm sort of behind all this thought and stillness. There's a lot of labor, I suppose, and years of making work without security in a system which doesn't really protect art. So how have you navigated that? I know you've been pioneer in crowdfunding and all of that. So tell me about that journey,
Raising money has been very hard for films. It's always been hard. It's hard even now. But I'm okay with everything, Pritha, because when I came to Bombay and when I worked with Kumar, and I've seen Kumar and Mani work, and there were periods for them of 10 years not making a film. And I've seen them not move an inch away from their belief system. Luckily, my films are a lot more in the let's say in the narrative format. So I have a better chance, much better chance in Kumar or Mani to get funding. But when I decided to make a film of a certain kind, I knew it's not going to be easy. So then what right do I have to complain about it? We know that we are sitting in a marketplace. It treats things as products. We know that. And you saying, no, my film is not a product, it's a film, it's a work of art, then obviously it's not going to be easy for you to get money. Where is the shock in that? So why should I say, oh my God, I'm being mistreated? Bullshit. It's my choice. I've made a choice of making a certain kind of cinema. So it's going to be hard. Obviously, it's going to be hard.
Why not another kind of cinema?
Because that doesn't excite me, because I don't believe in it, because it bores me to death. Why would I make it?
Tell me a little bit about your collaborations, people who you've worked with for so long. What have they brought into your life, into your journey, into your artistic life?
The biggest collaboration would be Rafe, cinematographer, Suresh Pai, who's edited, I think, 7 of my films. Rasool Pokoti, who's done sound for everything that I've made. Meenal Agarwal, who's the production designer and also my wife. Sagar Desai, my music composer for 7 films. So all these people I've known for 20 years or more and worked with them for 20 years or more. Then Ranveer and Vinay, who are integral part of the theatre and film journey. Each one of them is gold, and I'm just very, very lucky to have people like that with me, people like that to believe in me, and to put their, and they work for my kind of films where there's hardly any money. They worked for nothing, they worked really, and I'm very, very grateful, that they never had a moment of doubt, or they never gave up on me. And each one of them brings the top of their skill, their craft, but their friendship, all of that.
Tell me about your collaboration with your wife. How does that work?
I'm, some people get lucky. I really got lucky that she accepted me. We work like anybody works. So she's brilliant at what she does. She was a photographer first. Then she slowly she learned production design, worked with somebody. And in Raghu Romeo, she was not fully involved. She was involved, but she would help from outside. Mixtables was her first time she got him. And she has a great love for things, and which I didn't see at all, which I still don't see. I'm becoming a little better because of her. But like we were in St. Petersburg recently, and we went to this museum, heritage museum, Hermitage, and I was walking through and I was looking at things and I was saying, why do people make beautiful things? Pottery and a vase or even a coin. Why are they making it? I understand storytelling. So I have a great need for telling a story through which we understand something. But there are people who are just making. How does it matter? It's just a fucking cup, But no, somebody says, no, it's more than that. As an object of beauty, it means something. It has a place just because it's beautiful, And so people are making beautiful things. And it's like still very surprising for me, that people understand beauty and respect beauty and devote their time to make something beautiful. Meenal understands that, my wife. So now through her, I'm beginning to learn the value of objects. So she's always had that, and then now slowly and she is very good with her research. She gets very excited if she's making something. She'll read up everything about that era. She'll spend days and weeks just learning about it, immersing herself into it, and then coming up with something. It used to be a couple of films. It was hard working with her. Now I think we found a way of collaboration, of not disagreeing.
Do you remember a frame of any of your films where it was, where the production design made a huge difference? Like one frame, one object.
Frame. It's not about a frame. It's everything. It's everything. I don't know if you've noticed, but in Ankhon Dekhi, which you've seen many times, the walls change colors 4 times of the house. Yeah, you don't notice it. But it does something, and this is what Meenal brings. But it does something to your feeling, which is what we're looking for. The film starts with winter and it's blue, the walls. It goes into summer. It goes into spring. It becomes yellow. And then it becomes white. And then it goes back to another shade of blue. The film completes all seasons, goes back to winter. But what it does is it's intangible, but somewhere I think it guides you to see things in a certain way emotionally, I think. No, everything she and Rafe they bring together is magic, and it's not always easy. They don't agree all the time.
Before we come to the end segment, just one question. So, what are you working on right now? A new film or a new play?
I'm hoping to start a new film very, very soon. It's been there's a film which is also ready called Everybody Loves Surab Handa. We shot it 2 years back. It's ready, waiting for release. I don't know when. That's a whodunit, which is another genre which I'd never done, but very exciting for me. So finally, I've done a whodunit. I won't say any more because it'll be a spoiler. But you have to watch it when it comes. And now I have ready with 3 scripts, all very different from each other. Hopefully, I'll start shooting very soon now. One of them is called The Wrong Man. Play, we opened Brothers Karamazov last year. So that's a new one. I don't know when I'll do a next play. Maybe next year. Maybe the year after that. I don't know. Depends on if I can make a film or no. If I can make a film, I'll do that. Play can happen. Play doesn't need that kind of investment, It's easy to find money for. But a film is expensive.
I just want to touch upon Brothers Karamazov. I, of course, haven't seen your play as yet, but it's such a huge book, right?
I know.
How do you
that was the big challenge for that.
And such a theologically and spiritually charged book, and you're an atheist, and how did you just...
But Dostoevsky's struggle is exactly that.
Exactly that, yes.
It's a struggle with faith.
Yeah.
That's a big part of this book. He doesn't know himself what he is.
Yeah.
Is he an atheist or does he believe or not believe? And his characters keep struggling with that.
Yeah.
But with Brothers Karamazov, one thing is that it's a 1,000-page novel. So we didn't know how to bring it down to... That was a big challenge. That it should be the entire book and yet be 100 minutes long, not longer. So what do you leave out? How do you... That was one thing. And the other thing was, what is it? It's a theological search. Is it a love story? Is it a whodunit? Is it a murder mystery? It's all of that. It is all of that. And not one love story, many love stories. Yeah. But I'm very glad we did it. We just went to Russia with it. We played at St. Petersburg. So that was nice. Taking Dostoevsky back to the country of his origin. And I was very scared because they know Dostoevsky. They know that book. So I was scared of how they would react. I went off well.
So this is the end segment. It's pretty much a quick fire round where I just ask you don't have to explain yourself, just give one word answers and then choose.
I hate this.
Yeah, but it somehow, kind of tells a lot about people, and especially who don't like talking too much. And okay, so the first film that made you want to direct?
I would say Pyasa.
The one play you wish you had written?
I don't know many plays. There's something I saw recently, Amba Ka Boota.
Who was it by?
You don't know any of them. There are 5 actors who just got together and did something magical.
Okay. A filmmaker whose gaze you truly envy?
Fellini, Scorsese, Coen Brothers, Eric Romer, Ozu, many.
One critic you secretly enjoy being read by, or one critic whose criticism you kind of value?
Namrata Joshi, I would say.
Okay. One actor who terrified you on stage?
Co-actor? What do you mean?
Any actor.
On stage when you're watching him or?
Watching him or working with him or directing him.
I've never directed Nasir Saab, but I would like to, and the thought itself is daunting.
A line from your own work that still stays with you?
That's not fair. Ankhon Dekhi is the one that keeps coming back because it's been quoted so often, but I don't know if that is the one.
The last book that truly unsettled you?
Brothers Karamazov.
A song that belongs to your childhood?
Apna dil to awara na jaane kis par aaye. It's the first song that came to my head now.
The emotion you find hardest to act?
Joy.
If you weren't a filmmaker, you would have been?
A writer.
And now, some this or that, last segment. Kurosawa or Fellini?
Fellini.
Okay. Bergman's Wild Strawberries or Woody Allen's Crimes and Misdemeanors?
Crimes and Misdemeanors.
Ghatak's Despair or Ray's Compassion?
Despair. Ghatak.
Delhi theatre or Bombay cinema?
That's childhood versus now. Bombay cinema.
A script locked or rewriting on set?
Rewriting, I'll say.
Long take or quick cut?
Long take.
A perfect scene or a perfect silence?
A perfect scene.
Coffee with Vinay Pathak or whiskey with Ranveer Shori?
I don't drink whiskey, so coffee with Vinay Pathak. Coffee with either.
Actor's instinct or director's precision?
Actor's instinct.
Money in the bank or freedom on set?
Freedom on set.
Bauji's leap or Mehboob's escape?
Wow. Bauji's leap.
Rehearsal or improvisation?
Improvisation.
The last one, a perfect ending or no ending at all?
Perfect.
Well, I suppose, I end with the sense that, cinema is not a profession, it's pretty much a metabolism. It's difficult to trace it, but I suppose one needs to trace its rhythms and renewals. But it was so lovely speaking to you.
Pritha, what a nice interview, man.
Well, thank you so much.
I don't think anybody ever has delved into these things like you have.
Yeah, I'm so glad you feel that.
Really, thank you very much.